Ladies and gentlemen, this story has an actual just crazy twist to it. So, there was an off duty pilot that was on an Alaska air flight, and he made two attempts to shut the engine off midair. His wife is saying he suffered from depression. Mm, mm, mm. So, an Alaska airline pilot who flipped out in midair was afraid to report depression, his wife claims. So he tried twice to take down an airplane that was packed with passengers. And it said that during the flight, it was a magic mushroom fueled meltdown. So, my question is, why in the hell would he be on a plane taking magic mushrooms? Mm-mm-mm. And, and also he had refused to disclose information about his mental health because he was afraid he'd be grounded. Well, you being on magic mushrooms and attempting to take a plane down twice by shutting the engine off, your mental health state should be questioned. All right, so this is Joseph Emerson, and he was a pilot. He may not be one anymore. 44 years old, was deeply depressed, and this whole bizarre incident happened on October 22nd on a flight that was bound from San Francisco. They were going to San Francisco. And this man, y'all, took magic mushrooms prior to getting on the flight. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at all the lives that depend on these pilots to get them from point A to point B. And you don't know what state these pilots are in. When you board that plane, you can just hope that they're in their right state of mind. Mm-mm-mm. So his wife recommended that he talk to someone about his mental health problems. And she said he did not want to be out of work and they have a mortgage to pay. And you have to jump through hoops, and he could not afford to do that. Well, in my opinion, what is better? Telling your job about your mental health issues or taking a flight and trying to cut the engine twice? Y'all, he didn't only do that. He also tried to lunge open the emergency exit during mid flight. Now, remember, he's all strung out on these magic mushrooms and he's an off duty pilot. And they said, as a courtesy, they allow these off duty pilots when they're traveling somewhere to be in the cockpit. And why? If they're traveling as a passenger, why can't they just sit among the passengers? Why do they have to be in the cockpit? That doesn't make any sense. So, well, according to the union, they do this as a courtesy. Now, maybe they shouldn't. So, he later told the police that he had taken psych drugs, mushrooms, just before the flight. Mm, mm, mm. Emerson, he was sitting in the cockpit of the Alaska airline flight on Horizon Air as a passenger. A courtesy extended to off duty pilots when they travel on airlines. The Federal Aviation Administration, which licenses and regulates pilot conduct in the US, allows them to self report any mental health or physical issues. Well, he is showing that he was not willing to do that, but he was willing to put people's lives at risk. So they said these pilots are required to undergo extensive screening before they're cleared to fly again, which experts say serves as a deterrent from them. So, what they have in place, they said, is a deterrent so that they will be upfront about whatever issues they're dealing with. Well, apparently, this dude was not upfront about it at all. So they would have to go through evaluations with a psychiatrist, and this is a pilot who basically is being responsible, saying, I am not up to flying because of my grief or whatever. Well, this guy sure wasn't willing to do that. So they're saying pilots do have the ability to apply for short term or, after 6 months, long term disability. But the pay during leave is they just get 50% of their salary by the airlines. And they said that actually varies depending on the airline, but Alaska Air gives them 50% of their salary. Okay. So his wife goes on to say that her husband had struggled emotionally since the death of a close friend who served as a best man at the couple's wedding more than 5 years ago, was returning from a trip with mutual friends when he lapsed into a bizarre behavior during a flight. So, according to a 2016 study by the National Library of Medicine, 12.6% of commercial airline pilots reported some level of depression, and more than 4% reported suicidal thoughts. Wow. Man, I don't want to think about this kind of stuff when I'm on a flight. But, what this man did was very selfish. It's one thing for you not to want to be forthright with what's going on with you. But when you start putting other people at risk, which he attempted to do, and we know what's gonna happen, y'all. Remember, people like him get all kinds of preferential treatment, and, oh, they'll feel sorry for him. "Oh, he's going through depression." Look, why don't you just take some leave away from your job and then come back, instead of pulling a stunt like what he did? I mean, this man need to go take care of himself and stop trying to put everybody else at risk. But I would never trust him on a flight and he's taking psych drugs. I would never ever trust this man in a cockpit as a pilot. It doesn't matter what airline it is. Y'all tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.